How about that? Does that work better? Damn setting. Thank you, Brent. I appreciate you letting me know. Hopefully that works out a little bit better. Kind of let me know if you can hear this stuff. So I apologize. I think that some of the stuff, the settings in here were a little askew, but we're back to it. All right. It is a Reaction Monday. My name is Chris Joseph. I'm your host of Sports Bites, where I love talking about sports. I love talking about food. And before we get started, thank you, Brent. I appreciate it. Before we get started, I got to pour a little bit of my Elijah Craig barrel proof. Little pop. I love that. I am a rocks guy, right? I like bourbon on the rocks. I like old fashioned stuff like that, but I like bourbon on the rock. Cheers, everybody. Hope you guys have had a great weekend. Nectar of the gods, right? A lot of stuff to get into. Okay, I hope you're ready to chew it up. Let's talk ball. If you feel like you want to make a comment, please feel free. Make a comment. Let me know what's on your mind. If you think my takes are stupid, feel free. I love the interaction. It's my passion to talk sports, to talk food, and I love the back and forth. I've always said it reminds me of when I was on the radio. I had a really caller-driven show, and I loved having that, getting the fans to be in, to input in and let me know kind of what they're thinking. And it was a lot of fun to go back and forth. But if you can see right down here on the bottom, all the socials, right? All the socials on Facebook, Sports Bites Podcast as well. You can actually be watching this on the College Football Dogs Facebook page, but I'm on X, I'm on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, everything. But man, what a crazy weekend, wasn't it? It was a lot of this. A lot of craziness, a lot of flag planting, a lot of fisticuffs. People were sprayed with pepper spray. Now, I do got to play this because for those that know me, I am an Oklahoma guy. I was at the University of Oklahoma when Baker Mayfield was there. Got to know Baker Mayfield. I was covering the team. Really liked Baker Mayfield. And, of course, I remember Baker planting the flag up in Columbus. Same place that this fight happened to start the day between Michigan and Ohio State. But here was Baker when he was asked this weekend about that.
Since many kind of consider you the OG when it comes to flag planting, what was your reaction to a lot of the flag planting we saw yesterday, and I guess maybe some of the pushback to that flag planting yesterday?
I'll say this, that OU Texas does it every time they play. It's not anything special. You take your L and you move on. College football is meant to have rivalries. It's like the Big 12 banning the horns down signal. Just let the boys play.
Just let the boys play. Now, Baker's 100% correct. Every year, OU Texas, winter plants the flag. Now, the question is, does that matter because it's a neutral field? It's not your home turf. Even though the great Oklahoma football coach Barry Switzer said last time he checked, the Cotton Bowl was still in Texas, right? It's still in Texas. But I wonder if that's the case. But I want to get your thoughts. If you're out there listening, if you watch this weekend, everything that happened, are you okay with the flag planting? Does it need to stop? Does the NCAA need to get involved, try to curtail this as quick as they possibly can so it doesn't turn into a bigger problem, right? Because the sad thing was the teams that had the planting done on their field, it was all the road teams won, basically. And, let's go to the Ohio State-Michigan game, okay? Here you go. And I talked about it at the beginning of the year. This was a big year for Ryan Day. Big year for Ryan Day. If he wasn't able to get it done this year, how hot would that seat become for Ryan Day? Come in to play Michigan. One of the worst Michigan teams in the last decade? Probably the last decade. Not very good. And look, I love the story, of the Michigan quarterback, Warren. He's a leukemia, survivor. He's spreading the message to young kids, and I'm all for that. I can separate that and talk about his football play, and he's not a good football player. He's not a good quarterback. Now, Michigan's defense, which was much maligned this year, missing pieces, but Graham up front did really well. Will Howard did exactly what I thought Will Howard would do this year. But again, there was no fight in Ohio State throughout the game. But yet you want to fight after the game. And I get it. They were trying to plant now. And I've gone back and watched a couple of replays of it. And it gets ugly. I mean, one of the guys from Michigan threw something. I don't know if it was a Gatorade bottle, Powerade, whatever, if they're branded or whatever. I don't know. But he threw something looked like it had a little bit of weight to it into the crowd. It became an ugly scene, and Gus Johnson was like, "It's an ugly scene for a beautiful rivalry." Now, those two teams have fought pregame. Those teams have fought. It's happened, right? It's happened. But this Michigan, and they thought they got it squelled at first, and then Michigan came back with the flag, and next thing you know, it was scarlet and gray, maize and blue and white. It was a whole mess. The thing is, Quinshon Judkins got nothing going. But Mr. Mullings, 32 carries, 116 yards, and probably the biggest play of the game when he broke free I think it was on a 3rd and 8, broke free to set up the game-winning field goal. 45 seconds left, a 21-yard field goal. But again, just not a good outing. And I think you got to go back to Ryan Day. I don't know what you think. If you're an Ohio State fan, let me know what you think about Ryan Day. I just don't think he can get it done. I'm expecting an early exit in the playoffs. They ran the ball 26 times for 77 yards. So that's an average of 3 yards a carry. Not good. Against a team that have been giving up a lot. Now, again, Michigan only had 9 completions. Ugh. They have set the forward pass back as much as the University of Oklahoma has this year, guys. Just saying. But Michigan, with a big win, knocks Ohio State out of the Big Ten championship. Now you put in Penn State, who had an easy game over Maryland, the most explosive they've been the entire year. And now everybody's jock riding Penn State. And I'm hoping the same for them, an early exit. Depending on the outcome, I think Oregon is a better football team. When you have guys like Dylan Gabriel, Jordan James, just a really solid football. And Dan Lanning has that team playing good football. They knocked off their rival Washington 49-21. Dylan Gabriel, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns. He'll be in New York. I don't think he's going to win the award. And we'll talk about that as well. I don't think Dylan's going to win the award, but I think he'll be in New York as he continues to climb up the rankings in career stats. Now, I will say this. I've had a lot of Oklahoma people that are like, "Oh, I wish we had Dylan Gabriel back." No, you wanted him gone last year. You wanted him gone. And even with Dylan Gabriel, the ineffectiveness of the Oklahoma offensive line, Dylan Gabriel wouldn't have got it done. And it's not a knock on Dylan Gabriel. All right? No wide receivers, nothing like that. It was bad. Notre Dame, USC. And again, close. There was a problem in that one. A Notre Dame player, you see it. And now, it looked to me, and I'm saying what I saw. Maybe you guys saw something different. But it looked that when he went down, or that the USC player was down, like he was twisting the leg of the Notre Dame lineman. Well, that lineman just turned and square, wow, caught him right. And you saw the face mask kind of bend back. Wasn't called. I mean, he should have been automatically ejected. Notre Dame had 2 pick sixes in the 4th quarter, and just they're in the playoff. I mean, they're going to be number 5. They're not going to get a first-round bye, but they're going to be the number 5 seed unless something crazy happens in the rankings. But Riley Leonard, 17-22, decent, nothing spectacular. Had 1 interception. You look at the quarterback for USC, Jaden Maivia, didn't have a bad game until the very end. 2 interceptions, and they were returned for pick sixes. But I think a thing that really hurt USC in that game was when Woody went out. Running back that had meant so much to them. But Notre Dame's now in the playoffs. They lost to Northern Illinois. Everybody thought we were going to get rid of them at the beginning of the year, but now Northern Illinois is now Notre Dame is in the playoff. They're in. I hate it, but they're in because I still think Notre Dame should be part of a damn conference. Look, I get everyone's excited about Army and Navy this year playing Notre Dame. We were hoping for it's not. Play those two teams at the beginning of the year, get in the conference, come on. You get automatic bid because you went 10-1 on a shitty schedule. Terrible. At the Carrier Dome, how about Kyle McCord, the Syracuse Orange, senior. Regular season threw for over 4,000 yards, 29 touchdowns. He had a good game against Cam Ward and the Miami Hurricanes. Miami went up 21-0 early, and then here comes the Syracuse Orange. Kyle McCord is 26 of 36, 380 yards, 3 tutties. Cam Ward had a good day, 25 of 36, 349, 2 tutties. But when plays need to be made, Oregon State, Xavier Restrepo had a fumble. That was a scoop and score. So always those quick changing plays are going to be a difference maker in these games, right? I don't think Miami-Syracuse is a great rivalry. The Dome, I think it's lost the luster, the Carrier Dome, whatever it's called now. But Syracuse wins 42-38, knocks Miami out of the ACC championship game. Now, tomorrow when the playoff rankings come, I want to see how far they drop. And what does that do for Alabama, for South Carolina? Some of those teams with now the SEC teams with 3 losses, some people may not like it, but they're in the conversation right now. And I know everybody's all up in arms because Alabama, after beating Auburn this weekend, is now back up to 11. I'm going to tell you this. The AP poll don't mean shit. It is the rankings. When the rankings come out, that's where it's determined. Right? I know there's a lot of people who think, Alabama lost to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma. Shouldn't be in the playoffs. You got 3 losses. We'll see. But I think it's different now because of the 12 teams. That's going to be a conversation, and it's going to be a conversation. I know there's a lot of people that think it's SEC bias. And I asked this question last week, and I posed it to you guys. Who is the best team in college football right now? I'll wait. Is it Oregon? Oregon struggled against Boise State early in the year, but still struggled against Boise State. Is it Texas? I tell you, the team I don't want to play right now is South Carolina. If I was going into a playoff and South Carolina was in a playoff, I would not want to play them. Just everything they have going their way, the mojo. They're a fun team to watch. I'm happy for Shane Beamer. I thought he was going to mess that game up, but did a really, really good job coming back. They knock off Clemson 17-14. Cade Klubnik, 280 yards. The one interception to seal it. Clemson was driving to kick a game-winning field goal or possibly score a game-winning touchdown. Klubnik throws an interception. Oh, the pain. But Clemson is in the ACC championship and will get a chance to get an automatic bid if they beat SMU. SMU with 1 loss. Now, does SMU, if they lose to Clemson, do they still get in? So it's going to be really interesting. SMU defeated Cal 38-6. Jennings for the Ponies, 20 of 30, 225, 2 touchdowns. Since he's taken over Preston Stone, SMU has just been rolling. And it's just been, they've looked really good. Yeah, that's kind of what you thought they would look like with Preston Stone, but no. Then in Nashville, my boy Vandy Chris, man, I was pulling for you, buddy. Sorry, TJ. But Vandy Chris, I was pulling for you. 5 minutes in, Vanderbilt's up 14-0. I was like, oh my. Here we go. It's 14-0. Bang, bang. Junior Sherrill, 100-yard kickoff to start the day. And that's what I've been talking about all year is watching this Vanderbilt team, which makes them different, is they are better athletically. They're better fundamentally. They're a good football team. That is a good football team. That's not a Vanderbilt that we all know and make fun of. That's a damn good football team. Let some games get away from this year that they could have won. They could have even had a better year, but this game got away from them, and it was that second quarter. Second quarter, you go into it, Vanderbilt up 17-7. Next thing you know, field goal TD right before half, and the Vols are up 24-17 and never looked back. Vanderbilt scored a touchdown with 5 minutes left to go in the game to make it 36-23. But I'm still, I want to know what you. I'm still not sold on Nico Iamaleava. I'm not. I mean, again, I don't think he's a terrible quarterback. I'm just not sold on him yet. It's going to be interesting to see when you get into these playoffs because Tennessee's in. Tennessee's in, and rightfully so. 2 losses, both coming in the SEC. Now, one was a bad loss to Arkansas. Bad loss to Arkansas. You look at those teams, and you lost to Georgia. Georgia, who struggled mightily with Georgia Tech. That game, man. Let me ask you this, guys. Do you like the college overtime rule? I really don't like it. Let me know in the comments, chat. Let me know what's up. And if you're watching, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Follow the show on all the socials right down there. Got a lot of good stuff coming. I've got press credentials put in for a bunch of bowl games around here in the Birmingham area. Peach Bowl, Music City Bowl, stuff like that. So having some really good coverage there. I'm still hoping Oklahoma gets invited to the Birmingham Bowl. I'd love to be able to go cover the game there and see all my friends, see my team and everything like that. Even if not, I'm just glad that they're in the bowl game. But yeah, in Tennessee, I don't know. The thing about Tennessee that I'll say going into the playoff, what do they say? Travels. Defense and run the ball. Dylan Sampson can run the ball. Their defense is good. They've shown some holes. James Pierce Jr. hasn't had the year that I thought he would have this year for Tennessee. I thought he was going to come in and just wreck shop. Really hasn't. But I like Dylan Sampson. That young man can tote the rock. He had 25 carries, 178 yards. They leaned on him in the Vanderbilt game. They needed to. Now, Nico had 4 touchdowns. Again, just nothing special. I still think he's kind of young. That's why, again, you get in the playoffs, I want to see their matchup, where they're playing, who they're playing, and that'll let me know how I feel. I talked about Tennessee's in. Indiana, they're in, guys. You may not like it because the one top 25 team they played, they got beat. But if you listen to what I've talked about this whole year, that has been inspiring watching this Indiana football team, is Kurt Cignetti had them playing good football on all 3 sides. Offense, defense, special team. That Ohio State game, none of it was good. And it showed. People would say, well, they've not played anybody. You got to look at strength of schedule. All you can do is play the teams in front of you. And if you watch football, you understand Indiana is one of the best teams in the country. You may not agree with it, but tape don't lie. Watch ball. Rourke, good quarterback. Defensively, they're good. They got guys that can house punt. I mean, that's a good football team. And I hate people not giving them any credit because of people. Now, it was snowing. The battle for the old Oaken Bucket, which I love those trophy games in the Big Ten. Love it. Indiana hammered Purdue 66-0. Rourke was 23 of 31, 349, 6 tutties through the air in a snowstorm. It's a good football team. I don't know if they're going to host, but man, I wouldn't want to play them. I'm just saying, I wouldn't want to play them. Alabama, Auburn, the Iron Bowl. I have no idea what Hugh Freeze is doing. I have no idea. As I'm watching the game, you have one of the best running backs in the country, Jarquez Hunter. It's his final game. You know you got to win to make it to a bowl game, to be bowl eligible. You saw what the University of Oklahoma did the week before, and Hugh Freeze was just stubborn, heels dug in. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to do what I do. Into half, so I don't know what they were doing. I text my sister. My sister's a huge Auburn fan. And I texted her, I was like, the fuck are they doing? Like, I don't know. It was frustrating. It was frustrating. Now, Auburn's got a good recruiting class coming in if they can hold it together. But are people going to start? I mean, Brian Harson was out there making, troll tweets and stuff like that at Auburn, which again, making that look like a really terrible hire for the University of Auburn. But I mean, 5-7, 2-6 in the SEC, not good, not good at all. Can we talk about UNLV? Is one game away from being in the college football playoff? Because if you look at the rankings, college football rankings, where's the playoffs? Yeah. Boise State is up there. So now if UNLV is to knock off Boise State, you would have to put UNLV above Boise State, right? I mean, head to head is going to matter. So if Boise State loses to UNLV, whose two losses are Syracuse, that's a good team, and Boise State, which was a 29-24 football game. So again, there's familiarity. It was a close game. If Boise State loses to UNLV is in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs. The go-go offense will make it to the playoffs, man. And kudos to them because that Jack Nugget of theirs that left at the beginning of the year after 4 games, the team got better when he left. And I saw he hit the portal. Who cares, man? If anybody's smart, they don't pick that kid up. All the headache he caused, I'm out. Arizona State, Arizona, another fight ensued in this game. Scatabo is an absolute man possessed, 177 yards, 3 touchdowns for Cam Scatabo. I just like watching that guy run. Arizona State went to spike the Sun Devil Trident into the middle of the A. That started a big hullabaloo. But Arizona State playing for a Big 12 championship. I love it. I love it. Good for, Dillingham has done a good job, and I like what they did at Arizona State. But now they play Iowa State. And congratulations to Iowa State and your fans. You win Farmageddon against Kansas State, but it's also your team's first in the history of football at your program, your first 10-win season. Rocco Beck, I'll admit I was wrong. I didn't think he was going to have a good year. I didn't think Rocco Beck was going to be a guy that could lead Iowa State, especially, when they lost to Iowa, they lost to who did they lose to? They lost to Texas Tech and Kansas in back-to-back weeks. Now, the Texas Tech game, 23-22. So, Iowa State had a really good year. Really good year. I forgot they beat Iowa early in the year. Took down Houston, took down Baylor, West Virginia, UCF, Cincinnati, Utah, Kansas State. And now they got Arizona State in the Big 12 championship. So I'm excited to see the Big 12 championship. I know, championship weekend is coming up. There's going to be a lot of really intriguing football games that we can sit here and talk about. Another one that I thought was interesting from the weekend, BYU, they did what they had to do to make their mark. Not enough. Missouri knocked off Arkansas 28-21. That's kind of like a fabricated rivalry. Not really a rivalry, but they're trying to make it a rivalry. But let's look ahead to championship weekend. I'll break it down on Friday, right, on my Football Friday night. But Friday night, UNLV, Boise State on the blue turf. Ashton Genty climbing up the record books, making his mark towards the Heisman. UNLV, Boise State. Right now, that spread is Boise -4. And if you look at Boise for the daily radar, what it's supposed to look like if you look at AccuWeather, Friday. What the hell is an air stagnation advisory? Hmm. They have what's called a storms with snow, Arctic blasts to sweep over Northeast, Midwest sea forecast. Yep. It's going to be cold. It's going to be gross. I I don't care who wins the game. We'll talk about that. Army Tulane in the AAC championship. That game at Mitchie Stadium at West Point. How about that? Getting to host the AAC championship. Joe Craddock, is he going to go somewhere? Is he going to take Darian Mensah with it? Talk about one team that just lost their offensive coordinator today. Saturday, the Big 12 championship starts off at 11 with Iowa State, Arizona State, SEC with Georgia v. Texas at 3, Penn State, Oregon from Indianapolis at 7, as well as Clemson, SMU. I'll be interested to see how many people from SMU travel out to North Carolina to see this. I mean, the old Pony Excess, now they can pay players, right? Now they can pay players, and I guess it's working out for them because they're doing a pretty good job. Because now they're sitting there at 11-1 on the precipice of making the playoffs in the 12-team playoff, first year in a new conference. Kudos to SMU. But that's your conference championship. We're going to break all that down on Friday, talk about the game stuff. Some other games that I have to get into from over the weekend. Obviously, got to talk about my guys. Ugly. Iowa beats Nebraska. How about this? Iowa beat Nebraska. 5 first downs. 164 total yards. I didn't watch the game, but that's a bad box score. You're like, what? 5 first, and you still won the game. He had 1 touchdown pass. He had a field goal in the third quarter, a 72-yard pass for Caleb Johnson, who's a really, really talented running back. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good he is. I mean, Ashton Genty's kind of overshadowed him a little bit, but man, he's done a good job. And then the field goal as time expired, 53-yarder. Iowa takes down Nebraska, the Battle of Corn. So, I mean, it's I don't know. Nebraska, good for you. Utah beats UCF. UCF now finds out that Gus Malzahn's going to leave. He's going to go be the new OC at Florida State, which I thought that was really interesting that he just stepped down. Oh, I forgot to mention the Lone Star Showdown. Texas v. Texas A&M at Kyle Field. Fever pitch in the crowd. Now here's my question for you guys. Any Texas fans out there? Sincere question. Do you have concerns about Quinn Ewers going into the playoffs? Are you concerned about that ankle, about his mobility, turning the ball over? I mean, they brought Arch in to score. So, I mean, I don't know. But I'll tell you this. That defense, that is a championship defense. Those boys can play ball. And I hate saying it because I'm a Sooner, but damn it, Texas has got a really, really good defense. Probably the best in the country all around. Probably played the most consistent out of any team out there. But, I mean, Texas tried to give the game away a couple times. Texas holds on for a 17-7 victory over the Aggies. And I know it stings because it's at Kyle Field. Quinn Ewers, 17-28, 218, 1 touchdown. Mr. Wisner, the DeSoto Eagle, 33 carries, 186 yards. Texas looks really good. Is Texas the best team in the country this year? Are they the best team in the country? I mean, it's going to be hard to go against them. I just don't know if I'm a Texas fan that I've got the warm fuzzies for Quinn Ewers going into the playoffs. And I might be wrong. I might be absolutely wrong. Now I got to talk about my game. I got to talk about the university I love. The university that's brought me great joy and great pain. Oklahoma football. After a amazing night beating Alabama in Norman on senior night becoming bowl eligible to where you beat them 24-0, 24-3 is basically nothing. Beat up, bullied Alabama. There was some hope. There was some hope going into Baton Rouge because LSU was gettable. Now, they played out of their minds. Whit Weeks and some of those guys on defense looked outstanding. Garrett Nussmeier, who I thought was dead at one point in that game. And I'll say this, as somebody who's a fan of Oklahoma, if that was an Oklahoma player that went down like Garrett Nussmeier went down, he'd be out for the whole remainder of his career because nobody can get healthy at the University of Oklahoma. But whatever they did, they took him in the tent, they took him to the locker room. Next you know, he's out there, just throwing dimes. Now, there are some people that think it was similar to, Joe Burrow against UCF when they had that when he got blindsided on the block. So a lot of people were kind of comparing that. He had his Joe Burrow moment. But Garrett Nussmeier, man, I tip my hat because that hit. So he had been hit already. A sack, fumble, Oklahoma scoops and scores, has some momentum, right? Oklahoma has, and then that play where R. Mason Thomas just annihilates him. 7-7 in the first quarter. Second quarter, after he gets a field goal, 17-10. Next thing you know, Oklahoma takes it down the field. They score 3 plays and 75 yards. Now they hit J.J. Hester on a big pass play. Oklahoma's up 14-10. I'm like, okay, here we go, guys. Here we go. We're competing in Death Valley. But as soon as you thought there was some momentum, Aaron Anderson, 100-yard kickoff return. And from that point on, Oklahoma really didn't look like any fight in them almost. A young secondary got exposed. Garrett Nussmeier made some great throws. I mean, the touchdown right before the half, the 40-yard pass to Chris Hilton Jr., amazing throw. I mean, absolutely dotted him up. Then he hit Hilton Jr. again in the third quarter, beat the freshman, Eli Bowen. I was texting people. I was like, the kid's there. He just keeps getting beat. Now, the second touchdown, he was beat and wasn't there. But the one in the end zone, I mean, think about the play that Ryan Williams caught. That wasn't a touchdown. He was there. Great catch. Theo Weiss, the Missouri game, he's there. Theo makes a great play. And so is this one. But a lot of stuff to worry about. I mean, not a great performance from the defense. I think, man, he got beat once or twice, but the play of him on the offensive line against that pass rush of Oklahoma was impressive. And it's why, like when I had Cody on from the Golden Boot last week talking about this game, if I had a pick in the top 3, I'm taking that guy. I'm taking him. That's a guy you could build a team around because he also adapted as the game went on. He was able to really control the line of scrimmage. Now, the sad thing is, just like, typical Oklahoma this year, David Robinson, who had sprung on to the scene at the Missouri game, had a great game against Alabama, scored a touchdown against LSU, but he gets dinged up. Typical. That's kind of how it is. J.J. Hester was your leading receiver with 1 reception for 50 yards. Now, what I don't like, and I don't understand, and I'm sorry, Joe John Finley, I love you. You served your university well when you played here. But why in the hell you kept trying to run offense and schemes through Bauer Sharp, I don't know. That is one of the worst, most boneheaded plays on a double pass I've ever seen. And also, when you're watching that game, you can tell LSU knew what the hell was coming. Almost every play. The shovel pass, sniffed it out. That little double pass, nope, got him. There was no creativity to the Oklahoma offense at all. And I know you're kind of hamstring because of, the offensive line goes back to playing bad. Spencer Brown looked like a human turnstile. Guys are just running by him all night. Nothing really going. Gavin Sawchuk, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know. But now you're sitting there at 6-6. 2 out of 3 years, Brent Venables been the coach. 6 wins. So, depending on who they go and they play in a bowl game, they're either 7-6 or 6-7. Not Oklahoma standards. But news today out of Oklahoma, new offensive coordinator. Washington State's Ben Arbuckle was announced as the new offensive coordinator. Oklahoma finished 15 of 16 teams in both scoring offense and total offense in the SEC. Right? Arbuckle, 29 years old, one of the top young coordinators. Washington State finished 12th nationally in scoring offense this year, number 9 in passing efficiency, number 22 in total offense. They had great success with quarterback John Mateer. Now, I've also seen that John Mateer plans to enter the transfer portal. Now, there's a lot of transfer portal news getting ready to hit. We know Miller Moss, Jaquez Petaway from Oklahoma, Miller Moss from USC. There's going to be a lot. I'm interested to see what this means. If John Mateer comes to Oklahoma, what happens with Jackson Arnold? What happens with Michael Hawkins Jr.? Does Mateer even come to Oklahoma? I don't know. But if you think about Ben Arbuckle, his last 2 guys that he's had under his tutelage, John Mateer, he threw for 3,100 yards, 29 touchdowns. He also ran for over 800 yards. Last season, Cam Ward threw for 3,700 yards and 29 touchdowns. So now, here's your chance. You get a play calling opportunity at the University of Oklahoma in the SEC. A statement released by Arbuckle says his preferred style of offense can vary. Because there was a lot of people concerned because Mateer was the leading rusher for Washington State this year. Obviously, in the SEC, you're going to have to run the football, right? You're going to have to. But a quote from Arbuckle, "I've always played to the strength of my personnel. The personnel drives the scheme. There have been years where the best thing for the team to be successful was throwing the ball a lot. And there have been years where the best thing for the team was to establish the line of scrimmage and get rolling. That's how I'll always approach it. What gets us in the best position to be successful is what we're going to do." He also said, "My mentors come from a bunch of different trees, whether that's the air raid tree, the West Coast tree, or the pro style tree, as mentors from each different background." So now think about this. The University of Oklahoma, they brought in Zach Alley as the defensive coordinator. 29 years old. Bring in Ben Arbuckle, 29 years old. Whew. You got some youth. But this hire is huge. This hire is huge for Brent Venables in his future. It is huge. Right? Arbuckle, he served as a co-offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Western Kentucky. In 2022, where Western Carolina quarterback Austin Reed led the nation in passing, 4,746 yards. So now having a quarterback coach, that's something Oklahoma hasn't had all year. I know Kevin Johns has done a good job for Brent. I don't know what that's going to do for him. He's going to have a role still on there on the team. I don't know. I think Joe John's probably gone. It's the way the game is going. But signing day is on Wednesday. You got people hitting the portal. Oklahoma has a 5-star offensive lineman, a Michael Fasusi, that's been committed. I haven't seen anything that he's decommitted, but he made a trip to Texas for the Texas game, and then he went to the Texas A&M Texas game on a visit with A&M. Now, I also try to tell people, let's not look too much into it because I know he loves Oklahoma. He loves Coach Bill Bedenbaugh. I remember when Gerald McCoy at Oklahoma, it was at Southeast High School. We knew he was going to Oklahoma. But you know what? He took his visits. He was at the Notre Dame SC Bush push game. He went and saw that stuff. But I don't have a problem with these kids going to go see. I mean, if you're going to get flown out to a game, get field level. I mean, hell yeah, do it up, do it up. Go see the games, enjoy it. You may not get to see that again. Now, I will say he chose not to beat Oklahoma. He was supposed to beat Oklahoma the night that Oklahoma played Alabama. Could have been part of a field rushing, all that stuff. But I digress. But this is a huge hire for Brent Venables. Now, you're going to see a lot of people hitting the transfer portal. The way the game is now, it's completely different. And I did think Oklahoma was going to, I was afraid of them getting into like the Ole Miss, Ohio State, where you're spending a lot of money to bring in teams, and that's all they're playing for is money, not to actually win. And it's what it kind of looked like. I mean, Ole Miss lost 3 games. Ohio State lost 2 games. Paid a lot of money for teams to win. I mean, there's only one team with no losses, and that's Oregon. And I know Oregon's putting a lot. Maybe that recruiting, that talent scouting is a little bit different. But this is a huge hire for Oklahoma. This is a huge hire for Brent Venables for his career. Because if he's not successful, if he goes 2-6 in the SEC again next year, and the offense can't get it done, Brent's gone. Brent's gone. And if it's bad throughout the middle of the year, I'd be surprised if he made it through the year. And I hate saying that. I'm not a fire the coach guy. But you got to, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, damn duck, right? The damn duck. But I hope Ben Arbuckle is the guy. So now Joe Craddock, I don't know what that does for him. Maybe he's in line for a head coaching job. North Carolina. I will say congratulations to Texas Tech OC Zach Kitley, the youngest FBS coach, 33 years old. Florida Atlantic has named him the new coach. So good luck out there in some beautiful country. See if you can win some football games. NFL news, man. Broncos and Browns are playing on Monday Night Football right now at 7-7. Interesting week of football. Chargers and Falcons. I like that the Chargers knocked off the Falcons. They're 6-6 as well as Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay won a crazy game with the Carolina Panthers. Chuba Hubbard, the former Oklahoma State running back, continues to cough with the ball. Baker Mayfield, then Bryce Young played well. He played well. Bucky Irving, I don't take him out of the damn game. Don't. But right now, I don't know if anybody's playing better than the Philadelphia Eagles. They beat the Ravens in Baltimore. They got the Panthers, Steelers, at the Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. I mean, I think in the NFC, you're looking at Lions, Eagles for the NFC Championship. Lions are that good. Eagles are that good. Bills beat the 49ers in a snowstorm. 49ers are now 5-7. Christian McCaffrey looked like he re-injured himself yesterday. I hate seeing that. Got a good buddy of mine, AJ. Great football mind. Love talking football with him. He's a huge 49ers fan. They're not playing well. Texans and Jaguars, there was a scuffle in that because Trevor Lawrence got blasted and did the thriller arms. Next thing you know, there's a fight breaking out. Commanders dropped 42 on the Titans. And I was just waiting. I was waiting. It was 28-7, right? 28-7 at halftime. Washington's looking unstoppable. Brian Robinson running hard. 40-yard touchdown, boom. Jaden Daniels rushes for a touchdown, boom. Finds Terry McLaurin, touchdown. Finds him again, 28-0. Now, Nick Westbrook-Akini made a great catch for that touchdown right before half. Then there's field goal. And you're like, oh, here comes the collapse. Because Washington has done this a couple times in the season where they've had a lead, and in the fourth quarter, they kind of drop it. So I was concerned. But they held on. They won 42-19. Commanders get a bye week, which I think is great. Austin Eckler's on the IR. Maybe he'll get healthy. But how about Emmanuel Forbes, the number 16 pick in the 2023 draft? He was waived. He was a first round pick and waived. I mean, he didn't play. He didn't play good football. Plain and simple, he didn't play good football. Before the Commanders, they got a bye week coming up at the Saints, Eagles, Falcons, Cowboys. So right now they're at 8-5, 10-7. I'd be happy with a 10-7 season. I would be. Those, but I think you could win 3 of those games. I think you could win 3. It'd be like 11-6. Now I wish you could win 4, it'd be 12-5. That'd be great. But I think, the Saints aren't playing bad. Atlanta is going to be fighting for playoff. So we'll see. But if you look across the playoffs, the Bills have already clinched a spot in the playoffs. So have the Kansas City Chiefs. The Patriots and the Raiders have been eliminated, as well as the New York Giants. Detroit and Minnesota, they're battling out for the NFC North. I mean, that's a real good division, except the Chicago Bears. Detroit with 11 wins, Minnesota with 10, Green Bay with 9. The NFC West led by Seattle. Trailing right behind them is Arizona at 6-6, and so are the Rams 6-6. NFC South, Atlanta and Tampa Bay tied at 6-6. The NFC East, Philadelphia 10-2, Washington at 8-5. So you're hoping. So if they were going to do the playoffs right now, Tampa would be in. You've got Detroit, Philly, Seahawks, Falcons, Minnesota, Green Bay, Washington, and Tampa. Okay. In the AFC, Kansas City, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Houston, Chargers, Ravens, Broncos, Colts. Still a lot going on in the AFC. But good stuff there. Great weekend of college football again in the NFL as well. And right now on Monday Night Football, you got the Browns and Bo Nix and the Broncos. Jameis Winston, he's having a good night. It's 5 of 6, 118 yards, 1 touchdown. In the rejuvenated career of one Jameis Winston. Looking something up real quick. Let's see. Here we go. I told you I was going to do it. I'm going to rank my Dominic. What's up, man? How you doing, brother? You're an FSU guy. What do you think about Gus Malzahn coming on to be your OC? Leaving a sinking ship in UCF, but now he's like, hey, calls up Mike Norvell and is like, hey, guys, I'm getting ready to lose my job here, and I can be your offense coordinator. As a Noel fan, what do you think? Do you like it? I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Gus obviously knows defense, but I'm going to rank my top 5 fast food, restaurant, sub, sandwich places, right? For me, let's see. Oh, see, Good Sense. They don't have Good Sense around here. I loved Good Sense. I'm not a big fan of Charlie Steak or cheesesteaks. What I do miss? Oh, just name your DC. Okay, I need to check that out. What do you think about who Oklahoma picked as their offensive coordinator? Ben Arbuckle from Washington State, and now John Mateer entering the transfer portal. It'll be interesting to see. But what if Jackson Arnold ends up out there at Florida State with you guys with Gus Malzahn? If he had a good offensive line, I think it'd be a lot better. Number 5 for me is Subway. I know a lot of people go to that, but Subway is number 5 for me. Subway's number 5, right? Hate me all you want. Let's see. What I really miss is Quiznos. Quiznos for me was number 4. All right. Because I loved the heated up subs. Loved them. Now, trying to think what else. Nukes is kind of a which. Oh, which is 3. Which is 3. If you've not had a which, oh man, so good. Love which subs. You can get like Cheese Whiz on it. Oh man, I loved which. So Subway 5, Quizno 4, which 3. Now I'd probably have to go Jersey Mike's at number 2. Jersey Mike's number 2. And number 1 for me is Firehouse. The hook and ladder, the brisket, the meatball sandwich is one of the best meatball sandwiches. I just made meatball sandwiches the other night for the family. We loved it. Loved it. But the meatball sub, when they did the chicken parm meatball sub sandwich, ooh, I like their Thanksgiving sandwich. It was good. So that for me, Subway 5, Quiznos 4, which 3, Jersey Mike's 2, because I like their Philly cheesesteak. It's that good. Firehouse number 1. That's my top 5, man. That's my top 5. Love sandwiches. Tonight before I came on the air, my wife made some homemade tomato soup, grilled cheese, and it was like the best grilled cheese I ever had. We had like some shredded New York style white cheddar, really sharp cheddar, some mozzarella, and you got to shred it so it melts better. And it doesn't have all the starches and the chemicals and stuff on it. Shred it yourself, right? So good. It was, I could have had like 3 of those grilled cheese sandwiches with the soup, but it did a body good, if you know what I'm saying. So, guys, that's going to do it for me for this Monday. Stay tuned. You got the Golden Boot podcast coming up a little bit later. Chris, George, Cody, those guys, they'll break down what happened in the week. Again, crazy weekend. Crazy weekend. A lot of fighting. But, guys, thank you so much. For those of you who hopped in, thank you. Those who liked, if you subscribed, pass it on. All right. It's one of my passions. I love talking sports, love talking food, talking about some good bourbon as well. But everybody, enjoy your Monday. We'll talk to you on Friday for our Football Friday night as we'll break down the conference championship games. And then I'm sure more news about transfer portal. Terry, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry, Terry. But yeah, I'm only on for an hour. Sometimes I'll go longer if there's some more engagement. But it's going to do it for me tonight. I've got to drink my whiskey. Ooh, okay. Rebecca's Creek whiskey. I'm always up for a new one. So this is what I'm drinking right now, Terry. Yeah, Elijah Craig barrel proof. But I also have some Calumet 15. Let's see. I'm sure you know this. The old Colonel E.H. Taylor. Yes, I got a bottle of Jack Daniels Frank Sinatra. Just because I know they're going to stop making it. So I wanted to get a bottle. It's in its protect everything. San Antonio product. Woodford Reserve. Woodford Reserve is really good. I like Woodford Reserve. Really good flavor notes for me. What I've gone to now for like a daily pour is from the Buffalo Trace line, that Benchmark 8. I mean, it's Buffalo Trace, but you're not paying stupid prices for Buffalo Trace. You can get the handle for $25. That and Penelope. Penelope has become a line. If you haven't had Penelope bourbon whiskey, try Penelope. Its whole line is really good. It goes from like a really kind of muted 80 proof, which is like just a really good sipping whiskey, all the way up to they got it toasted. They get a little bit higher proof and stuff like that. But man, it is a really, really good line. But yeah, I could sit here and talk about bourbon. Now I would tell you this, Terry. I am a card-holding member of Jack Daniels. I've got a plot of land. I'm a Tennessee Squire, man. I've got a plot of land up there at Jack Daniels. I need to go up there and take a tour and get some of my benefits from there. But man, it's good stuff. But guys, love y'all. Thank you so much for stopping by. Stay safe. And for those, again, if you checked on, you asked, how I was doing after my accident, I'm much better now. The leg is healing extremely well. Again, I'm very blessed that I have a great wife who is a great nurse and does a fantastic job in taking care of me. Nice. Let's go drinking. Hell yeah, Terry. I'm down, brother. I am down. You don't tempt me with a good time. Shoot. I'll drink some whiskey. I will drink some whiskey. But everybody, enjoy your Monday. Enjoy your week. Stay safe. Remember, it's easier to be kind than it is to be an asshole to people. It takes too much energy. It doesn't take that much to be kind. You don't know what people are going through. So a nice gesture, a hold the door, anything like that. You guys, you don't know. You don't know what that could do. But remember to always positively move forward, guys. Have a great night.
Welcome to Sports
Wrong button. No.
Thanks for joining us on this delicious journey through the world of sports and food on Sports Bites with your host, Chris Joseph. We hope you've enjoyed the game day stories and culinary adventures. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you've got any mouth-watering sports-related tales or favorite game day recipes, share them with us on social media. Until next time, remember, it's not just about the game. It's about the bites that make it unforgettable. Stay hungry for more Sports Bites.